Picture this, a remote village surrounded by national parks in the country with the largest African elephant population in the world. When I first knew that we were going to Khwai village, I thought this would be an amazing experience to see elephants. Personally, if you know me, I'm a photographer. I love taking photos of elephants. But what I didn't realize was our time in Khwai, being able to look at how elephants and humans may or may not coexist, was going to teach me some deeper insights about how human and wildlife coexistence can happen. So, to start, before we can understand how elephants and humans interact, I'd like to give you guys a little bit about what are elephants and how they exist in Botswana. So Botswana has around 130,000 African elephants. It totals to around 31% of the global African elephant population within the world. And that's just in Botswana. So you can imagine, being in Botswana, as I'm sure you're all aware of, elephants are a pretty common thing. And I'll show you here. Ooh, sorry about that. So this is a map of the Khwai area where we ended up going. And as I was also surprised, after collecting our data, you can see there were so many different elephants that we were able to see. And personally for me, one of the things I was looking forward to most when finding and looking at elephants is their gentle nature. I figured that because these are really large animals with big tusks, they would be aggressive. But that wasn't the case. There's a lot of studies shown that they have a lot of social and emotional intelligence. Not only do they have really complex social behaviors that comparable of humans, but one thing that really struck me was how they have the ability to mourn, the ability to understand how some other elephant could be deceased and revisit their graves. So it sounds like these elephants are really emotionally intelligent, they're gentle, and they're very friendly, right? But as nice as it would be to see an elephant, you probably wouldn't want to see a 6-ton elephant start walking on your crops, especially when it comes to the lives of the villagers in Khwai. These villagers have to rely on sustenance farming, and a 6-ton elephant trampling on these crops can be really detrimental to their lifestyle, regardless if the elephant had ill intent or not. And so not only were we able to witness elephants within the Khwai area, but what I was personally really shocked by was within a 2-hour game drive through Khwai village, we were able to see 6 elephants. And that started making me realize, not only was there 6 elephants within the 2-hour span we saw, and not only could those 6 elephants cause problems for the villagers every day, but how many more elephants do the villagers see every month, every year? How many problems does that cause for them? And to help prevent elephants from causing problems, one of the solutions that villagers do, unfortunately, is to kill them, especially when it's endangering not only their livelihoods, but also people, as elephants can trample over humans. And this, in my opinion, is where human-elephant conflict becomes quite a difficult debate. On one hand, you have from the villagers' point of view, there's elephants roaming around their villages, and not only is it a threat to their livelihoods, but picture this. You have to send your kids to a multiple-kilometer walk to school. And we were able to witness 2 elephants just 175 meters and 350 meters away from the school. Personally, I would not be so comfortable sending my kid to school knowing that he can encounter 1, 2, or even 3 elephants along the way. But on the other hand, from the elephant's point of view, if an elephant is killed, it could cause them to be more aggressive and understand that humans are more dangerous to them. And personally, one thing that I was really shocked by in our time in Khwai was when we were driving in game drive vehicles, there were a few elephants that would aggressively chase and roar at us. And that came to a really big shock to me. But it makes sense. If they have this social intelligence to be aware of each other, to care for each other, to have social hierarchies, and one of them were to die, then of course they'd hold a grudge against humans. So how is this debate solved? How can we make sure we can ensure the well-being of farmers and elephants at the same time without compromising on one each other? And luckily, our experience in weXplore gave me a lot of valuable insight to that. We got to work with an NGO called Ecoexist, which, as the students are aware, gave us a lot of opportunities to work with different techniques that can help with human-elephant conflict mitigation. Things like agriculture practices, using agriculture products like beehives or chilies to deter elephants, and understanding elephant movement patterns to create land planning zones for the government to understand safer placements for farms or villages were all just some of the examples that we learned from Ecoexist. And personally, not only was this a great opportunity for me to understand how Ecoexist creates solutions that are both listening to the villagers and also understanding the elephants by collecting research data, but it was really cost-friendly. And as you can see in the photo, I even got to help participate in making some of the chili-based deterrents that we were able to see and learn about. And so to sum up this whole story, on the way back from Khwai back to Mound, I kept my eyes peeled on the game drive back. I was still looking for elephants, but this time with a different mindset in mind. I didn't think of them as just creatures that we could admire and understand, but to recognize that not only do elephants live in our space, so do humans too. And how do we balance that? Were all the kind of thoughts that were going inside my head. Understanding how elephants behave and gain awareness on how they can live can allow us to be more informed and inform us on how we can choose to act towards elephants. We have to understand that human and elephant conflict is inevitable, but we can choose to handle that conflict in a more beneficial way if we are willing to understand each other. Thank you.